Leaving the Bonavista Peninsula, we made our way south and then east to the Avalon Peninsula, the easternmost land in Newfoundland. It is connected to the rest of the island by a narrow strip of land. While the Avalon Peninsula is where the provincial capital, St. John, sits, we would save that city for last. Our travels would start by exploring the southeast coast, called the Irish Loop, so named for the early European settlers that took up residence here. As we made our way south, the winds were increasing. By the time we reached our stop for the night, Bluefin RV near Hollow Road, the wind stayed strong and the forecast for the next day was pretty dismal. So we decided to stay put and wait out the storm. And that was a good decision. This was the worst weather we had seen in our travels so far. After the storm, we headed east to Bay Bulls on the coast to begin the loop. We had reserved a spot on the Mollybond whale watching trip and had our fingers crossed that the whales would cooperate. So we were supposed to have a whale watching trip this morning, but it was postponed, partly because of the sea conditions from yesterday's storm, but obviously you couldn't see very much. We went this morning. So while our 11:30 trip was canceled this morning, so we're spending some time in Bay Bulls, and looks like O'Brien's has already had one come in and has another one going out into the fog. With our trip delayed, we stopped for a generous lunch at the Jigger Shop before heading south for our afternoon whale trip. However, shortly after arriving to check in for our tour, we were told the conditions hadn't improved, the seas were still too rough, and the fog just wasn't lifting. So we moved on to our next stop, Manche Provincial Park. This park's main attraction was a hike to a suspension bridge, which was a segment of the East Coast Trail that extends from north of St. John's to south of Cappahayden. We had a couple of hours to complete the hike to the bridge after arrival before our regular call with Twin Lakes State Park, so we headed out and started to climb.
Okay, Kathy, let's come. Come on.
What we realized after we had climbed straight up on the fire road was that most people drove to the top of the hill and started their hike there. It's leveled out a bit, We made it with 10 minutes to spare. We have a call to make at 4:30, so we need to turn around and go back. But it is pretty, a little rough at the end, but pretty sight. The fog that kept us from taking a whale watching tour today is certainly still rolling in. Like any suspension bridge, it moves when you walk on it, so it's a little unnerving when you're this high up above the water. While there's more of this trail to do, you can see these stairs climbing up the other side. We're going to turn around now. Beautiful view and a very interesting bridge, but time to head back. Manche Provincial Park was created on land that had been the site of a fishing village until early 1966, when a bad winter storm destroyed most of the buildings, thankfully without loss of life. This village's story is part of a larger story of the province known as resettlement. After Confederation with Canada, the smaller communities were encouraged to resettle or consolidate with others nearby, since roads and other infrastructure could not reasonably be maintained to so many outlying areas. The residents of La Manche had resisted this for years, but the storm's devastation changed their minds. By August of the same year, they had been resettled and La Manche Provincial Park was inaugurated. So that's the relatively flat trail. The La Manche Falls Trail is the one that said it was relatively flat and goes to the falls. So we're taking another hike today. This is supposed to be a flat hike, which hopefully is the case since yesterday's was a bit of a climb. And we are also hiking to a waterfall today, but not as spectacular a view as the suspension bridge. But that's okay. I'll take flat. It looks like they need to do a little bit of trail maintenance. So no waterfall today. The trail was a little bit too poorly maintained. We're not going to get soaking wet walking through all the weeds.
Need some good loppers. And you can't actually see where the path is in most places because it's closed in.
Jeff Samuels from Pocahontas would probably do a good job cleaning that trail up, but we're going to walk the campground instead and get our steps in that way. With a lakefront site, we were also right across from the comfort station, which allowed us to both receive a Wi-Fi signal in the van and made it one of the easiest places yet to do laundry. After a 2-night stay, our options for a whale watch trip were not promising, but we've been told all through our travels that the place to see whales from shore was St. Vincent's Beach, so we made our way there. The trip to St. Vincent's Beach involved a trip around the southeast tip of the Avalon Peninsula toward Cape Race. This is the first or last side of land in North America that many sailors see as they cross the Atlantic. It is also the place where many ships have foundered. After miles and miles throughout Newfoundland of pine trees and forests, it's kind of amazing to see so much expanse of land with hardly any trees anywhere. Rounding the cape to the west, the rocks of Mistaken Point hold another significance. While Mistaken Point earned its name because ships mistook this rocky shore for the entrance to Biscay Bay, to their misfortune, their significance was much greater, earning them a UNESCO World Heritage Site designation. We turned into the Mistaken Point Interpretive Site at Portugal Cove South to learn more. Inside the center, we saw a cast of the rocks and the point, showing the impressions left by these ancient organisms. To take a tour of the site required reservations that were already booked out for a couple of weeks. A layer of volcanic ash from an ancient eruption encased these soft plants and animals in a protective coating, preserving them for geologists to find millions of years later. The center also told the story of Cape Race, which earned its name for the race by European countries to be first to the favorable fishing grounds and salting grounds for the local cod harvest. The lighthouse was the first station also to receive the Titanic's distress call. While that disaster took place miles away, there were stories of successful rescues and lives lost when ships were in peril off the Cape. But we still had several miles to go, so we moved on, continuing around the southern tip of the peninsula. Our next stop was in Trepassey, which was located next to a long protected bay facing southeast. Its location and the protected bay gave pioneer aviators the runway they needed to attempt the Atlantic crossing to Ireland. The plaques commemorate 2 successful milestones leaving from here. The first woman to cross the Atlantic by air, that was Amelia Earhart, and the first flying boats to cross the Atlantic as well. St. Vincent's Beach, which is many people have pointed to as a place where you can see whales from the shore. It's beautiful, but I don't see any whale. So our understanding before we came to St. Vincent's Beach was that this spot here, the parking right by the beach or nearby, was a popular and accessible boondocking spot, but that is not the case. The signs clearly say that they don't want you parking here overnight, so the town has provided another spot where we can park, so we're going to do that. Maybe a whale's playground, but they're playing somewhere else today. So the town has set aside this area to park in since they've closed off the beach parking lot to overnights. $15 fee. On the other side of the narrow strip of land that formed the beach was Holly Road Pond. This large freshwater lake has a unique characteristic. Once each year, the salt water from the ocean is allowed to enter the lake, as it has done naturally for as long as the lake existed. The relentless pounding of the ocean eventually fills in the opening, and the saltwater fish trapped there remain until it opens again in a year. The fog is literally rolling in. The beach may look like black sand, but it is actually very deep with small rounded stones. The day we were heading out, the town was holding a craft fair at the town office where we were camped, so we stuck around and made a few purchases to boost the local economy. We're leaving St. Vincent's. Unfortunately, there were no whales, but the landscape that we saw all along the coast, which apparently is pretty unique to the southeast tip of Newfoundland or Avalon, is disappeared. So no more barrens. The trees are back. They're apparently the caribou, they have a woodland caribou that likes those barrens. Didn't see those either, but we're on our way to St. John's, and we'll spend several days there exploring the capital city. Our last stop on the Irish Loop was Provincial Nature Park on the Salmonier River, where injured animals are rescued and rehabilitated. Those that can be are returned to the wilds. We happened to arrive on Family Fun Day. So we're going to walk the boardwalk, the trail at Salmonier Nature Park, and this might be our opportunity to finally see a moose and maybe a caribou. Or not. We'll see. Fence. Look at the creature climbing the fence. Little furry creature.
Yeah,
it's just
there he is. Is that a lynx?
No.
Several pictures of moose.
So yes, he's in captivity, but it is a live moose in Newfoundland. There you go. I'm not sure I mind having a fence between the moose and me. Moving on, we were making our way to St. John's to visit Signal Hill, site of the first wireless transmission across the sea, and maybe we'd finally get screeched in.